Alright guys, so today we are going to be taking a look at Zeta's Hyper Mega Launcher. Yeah, that's the right unit, right? Yeah. In terms of this unit, I'm going to be trying it out in JP obviously because I don't have a copy in Global, which there's just a lot of unit that I'm not going to be able to pull, right, as far as standards. But in terms of this unit, we do have it at the highest custom level 19 at level 190. As far as the module wise, we do have obviously access to some of the better modules in JP version. So this one is essentially every time we pop EX skill for 20 seconds, we are increasing our beam damage, being able to stack up to 2 times. So this one should work effectively because of the fact that this version of the Zeta is able to pop EX skill relatively fast. I want to say for the first 60 seconds, you should have a good chance of popping EX skill every 10 seconds or so. So this unit should be a fairly EX skill oriented unit in the first 60 seconds, and then after that I feel like this modules may not be as good. So if that is the case, the other one that we will probably look into is the other one. I believe the one that has the Shamble right here. Yeah, so I think this one is probably better because this one does have a permanent stacking. The only thing is this one is 10% less. So if you are doing like a extremely long content, for example, I feel like in the long run this one probably would be better. So that's just kind of my take on it. I think it's definitely going to be, it needs more testing to be proven, but that's just kind of my stance on it. As far as the other unit that we are taking a look at, I think people were kind of interested to see how it fares against this the limited yellow Zeta. We'll definitely try that out as well. As for Zeta, I do have this equipment where we are able, for yellow element specifically, we are able to stack the beam damage 3 times after pop EX skill. So this one obviously we have access to better equipment, so I'm just using whatever the strongest equipment is and then slapping onto the unit. So we have that. For this purpose of the testing, at least for the initial run, I'm not going to be adding on any sub slot units because whatever the sub skill is obviously going to affect how the unit performs, and try to make it more, I guess, closing into what Global will have. I'm not adding that. As far as the pilot, I don't really have the commute for both of them, so what I end up using is using Armor. Armor actually works out pretty nice because we are able to fulfill all of these, and then we are getting up to 210 stack or 210% stack, so that should be fairly nice with it. Oh, let me upgrade Armor just a little bit, so we don't want to be lower in terms of the shooting sense, so we have that. As for the yellow Zeta, I'm using this spell. I don't know what it's called. He's from Blue Moon series, right? Yellow and the generic. The only one I believe we should be able to proctor is this one. This one is to New Time Machine, which I believe this Zeta does have that. Yeah, right there, we got that tag right there, so it should work. So this one is essentially it's the same thing as Amro, where we are able to stack, but this one is only up to 120. So obviously this version is gonna be better. So there will be a little bit discrepancy in a sense, right? I don't think Zeta has high firepower, right? Yeah, we don't really have that, so we are missing out on a huge chunks right there. So yep, I believe the other one is tying to when the enemy does have the, the jamming status, which obviously Zeta don't have any of that. So even with that, we aren't able to proctor that. So also something to keep that in mind right there. So I think you guys know the ins and outs about the team, and then we just have some other filler coming in. We also do have a healer from Ariel's Reaper right there, so that should be fine. So without any further ado, we're gonna hop into a quick co-op and see how both these Zeta can do. Alright, so I think we're just gonna go into the tier 2 where we're just gonna be fighting the double Zeta right there. So I think after this run I'll probably do another attempt, but that time around I am gonna be bringing Easy 8. So Easy 8 in JP, it works like a charm regardless of what kind of investment you have. For me, I don't have the best investment, but thus far it's still performing relatively good if I say so myself. And then I think I'm just going to do this. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, so for the purpose, let's actually take a look at the EXQ because since we are showcasing out this unit for the first time, let's actually just take a look at the EXQ. And wow, yeah, look at the yellow Zeta is already getting that EXQ gauge relatively fast. Okay, yeah, it's anywhere, right? Anywhere we take a look at Zeta is still holding up fairly nice as far as just popping the EX skill. It's just something innately what Zeta does really well, so we have that. So up next, oh wow, dude, look at that. The yellow Zeta is able to pop both of them at the same time, nearly as. Oh, okay, we got this one right off the bat. Okay, we got that stacking going on. Let's go. How much can we even do for the EX skill? Okay, 48k, that's actually not too terrible. Oh wow, the yellow one is not slowing down. Yeah, the yellow one right now for the first 30 seconds has over 110% EXQ recovery, so for sure, we're getting that really fast. And then the other ones are just going to be able to pop their first one real quick. So I believe this is Shore's DOMs with the beam launcher. So this is definitely another bombardier unit that Global has yet to get, obviously. So this is just more of like a preview for it, people. So we have double Zeta right there. Okay, and how much are we doing on this one? This one probably, yeah, it's just more because we have type advantage and then we got the crit going on. Yeah, double Zeta is still looking fairly nice, and we obviously do have a type advantage, but yeah, double Zeta is still really good, man. So far the damage wise is not really that present in a way because our purple Zeta hasn't popped EXQ 2 times yet, so we're not really getting that stack, but it does looks like we are getting 2 EXQ off from Zeta before we can get a second one off from the yellow one, or the purple one, excuse me, so we have that. But I think that's enough of watching the EXQ. We can just kind of pause it and probably put it at 2 times speed just to see where we are looking at. Alright. And then another thing that I do want to mention, I do feel like this is probably not the most conclusive testing to do, just because of the fact that we have a lot of these bombardier units running around. So I think naturally speaking, you probably might put 1 or 2 in your team, and then it should be a relatively better testing. I think if you put too much together, you probably don't get a good result. So but right now Zeta is not like the one with the purple Zeta is not looking too hot. Yeah, even from the get-go when I tried this unit out for the first time, when I did my review on other things, like I obviously have slapped on this unit before, like even from that I knew that this Zeta wasn't necessarily that good, just kind of how I was using it. But yeah, it's definitely evidence in this one where it's just not as impressive as I have imagined. And as far as if you want to just kind of gauge how strong it is compared to the yellow one, it's roughly about the same because of how I have put the pilot wise. Obviously it does favor the yellow one a little bit better, and then with the equipment wise and all that good stuff. But I mean, other than that, I mean, like, I don't find it overall like really good. Like it doesn't really stands out as much. So I guess we do definitely have to give it another shot at a different element, because obviously this one is definitely catered towards the demo Zeta. So I think we'll definitely look at it with a different co-op element, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I decided to run it against Double Zeta once more because this time around we are going to be using Easy A. So this is definitely going to be a little bit of a better setup now because the fact that Bombardment unit are getting the buffing. So let's see if we are able to see any difference. But same thing as I said many times before. If our overall damage does not offset what Easy is providing, so meaning we would definitely need to do a lot more damage in order to cover what Easy is lacking. So that's always the principle of using a support. But I think overall Easy does not really, as far as the support wise, I don't think it offsets at all. I think we, from time to time, we actually do less, meaning we finish the match a little bit slower. So that's the problem that we tend to have, right? As far as this one, you guys can definitely see that the purple Zeta is definitely doing a lot more better, and then we have double Zeta just going on. Like look at that, over 160k per second damage. That's insane, man. And obviously this one, the yellow Zeta is just looking fairly poorly because of the fact that it's not really getting a lot of support. So we have that. But yeah, this is the power of using like an actual good support in JP, while global is we have yet to have something that is like meta changing in a way. So until they kind of fix whatever back end coding they have to make easy good, like I think I wouldn't even be using easy at all. That's the simplest thing to say. But it's not bad. It's definitely pretty good in this setup. But I think after this one, we're probably gonna go through another setup to see how the purple Zeta does. Alright, so for the last one, we will be taking on F91. So I think a lot of people probably want me to use this unit in arena to see how it performs, because this unit is able to pop EXD relatively fast. So supposedly it should be good. Unfortunately, it would be a difficult task to try it out on JP, just because of the fact that we do have a lot of just really overpowered unit running around in arena, and for a unit like this one that does not nearly has the same capability of some of the more recently released board point unit, I feel like it's not going to be an appropriate testing in a sense. So that's why I am definitely going to be not doing the aspect of things. But I think in this one we definitely do see that the purple Zeta isn't necessarily performed as good, right? Since this time around we are facing against a generic unit. I don't know, is it not working out that great? Because I think for Bombardier unit they are better against tank unit in general, the armor unit. So this time around you guys can see that yeah, it's not really performing as hot as I imagine. Even the yellow Zeta is performing better, and the funny thing is we also do have easy as a support. So yeah, but I mean Char's Rick Dom is gonna perform better, or just Dom in general, because it is going against that type advantage. So we have that. But I mean, yeah, overall I'm not really as impressed with this unit if you compare directly to, let's say, double Zeta. But double Zeta is not really meant for arena in a way, while this unit could be good in arena, just because of the fact that EXQ damage is quite high in a way. So if you do want to take on an enemy unit with EXQ, it's highly plausible you can actually land a lot of kills with that. Just like the yellow Zeta has been, haunting arena for a lot of players. Same goes for the purple one. I think it will do fine, alright? Just because we knew how deadly popping a lot of EXQ is, so no doubt in my mind that the purple one would perform good. It's just unfortunate in JP I'm not able to perform that, so you guys do definitely have to forgive me on that. But I think that is going to be pretty much it in terms of the testing for the purple Zeta. I think overall it's not bad, alright, if you consider the Transcendent skill, which is definitely leagues away from some of the other unit, because it's one of the more that they implement relatively recent. So Transcendent skill wise, if you guys do have the necessarily resource for it, I think it's gonna be phenomenal. I think it's gonna be great if you want to go that route. So that is just gonna be my opinion on that. But other than that, that is going to be pretty much it in terms of the testing for the purple Zeta right there, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.